Imagine Manila not just as a modern city but as a beating heart of an ancient kingdom, an ancient metropolis that once rivaled the great capitals of Asia. So what twists and turns of history changed Manila's destiny into the metropolis that we know today? Today, June 24th is celebrated as Manila Day in the Philippines, commemorating the official foundation of Manila as a Spanish colony on June 24, 1571. But what most people don't know is that Manila had already existed as a fortified pre-colonial city long before the Conquistadors set foot along its shores. Many forget that Manila Bay had long been the seat of power and the center of trade in the archipelago, centuries before Spain was even unified as a kingdom. In fact, exactly a year and a month before June 24, 1571, before Manila's foundation as a Spanish colony, on May 24, 1570, the pre-colonial walled city of Maynila was tragically destroyed and reduced to ashes. So who burned Manila, and why was this once majestic city reduced to ashes? Let's dig deeper and find out. Mabuhay! Earn Kapampangan, luwid kayo! Welcome to my channel, it's me Kirby Araullo, your friendly Pinoy historian. And in today's video, we'll dive deep into Manila's forgotten history. Let's set sail to pre-colonial Manila, a bustling regional powerhouse and a beacon for traders from all over Asia. Imagine the vibrant exchanges at this major trade hub, attracting keen merchants from across Asia and beyond. Indeed, Manila's strategic location and abundant resources make it a coveted jewel in Southeast Asia. Now let's start with the heart of Manila, its people, our ancestors. Unknown to many, by the late 1500s, the population around Manila and Tondo was estimated to be somewhere between 43,000 to 80,000 people. It was also said that Maynila had somewhere between 10,000 to 12,000 warriors in 1570, reflecting a diverse and dynamic community spread across various barangays, each vibrant with life and activity. So if you think about it, by comparison, Tondo and Maynila during this time were actually far bigger, wealthier, and more prosperous than the Spanish capital city of Madrid in the 1500s. And Manila was a melting pot of cultures, governed by a complex societal structure. And at the helm were the Rajas and the Lacans, the revered kings and queens who oversaw trade and governance with wisdom and authority. Now picture walking through the bustling streets of pre-colonial Manila, where diverse cultures and languages intertwined seamlessly. This was a city deeply rooted in rich cultural traditions and religious practices, blending indigenous beliefs with Hindu, Buddhist, and Islamic influences, with each thread representing different faiths and traditions that coexisted and flourished together for centuries. Unknown to many, the foundations of this dynamic city were laid by the Muslim rulers, the Raja Salalila of Luzon and his wife, Dayang Ismeria of Sulu and Brunei, who established the fortified Muslim city-state of Maynila right across the river from Tondo, the ancient seat of power in Luzon, from where Raja Salalila's ancestors, the Lacans, once held court. The formidable couple built Manila's initial foundations using native materials, such as adobe bricks and volcanic stones, including ramparts mounted with a variety of artillery, like the native cannons called lantaka. And Manila's early leaders were visionaries, setting up a stronghold that was not just a military defense, but also a thriving center of trade and culture. Now, during the 1500s, Tondo and Manila became the central hubs of power within the Kingdom of Luzon, one of the most prosperous yet little-known thalassocracies or maritime empires of pre-colonial Southeast Asia. The economic prowess of Luzon was unrivaled thanks to its monopoly of international trade with China, during a time when the Ming Dynasty had closed its doors and borders from the rest of the world. This strategic monopoly positioned Manila not only as a key player in Southeast Asian commerce, but also as a vibrant city enriched by a wealth of resources and cultural exchanges. Now, for those who may not know, what is often referred to as the Kingdom of Luzon was a collection or a patchwork of many semi-independent city-states, principalities, petty kingdoms, chiefdoms, and many more, bound together through alliances and by their economic interdependence and social and political allegiances to the paramount kings, to the ancient Lacans of Tondo, and later to the Rajas of Manila. And this political structure facilitated a robust network that was well established long before the Spanish conquest, illustrating a region not only rich in resources but also in governance and diplomacy. Now, trade was the lifeblood of Manila. connecting it with a global network. And Luzon's prosperity was further strengthened by its sophisticated agricultural systems and well-organized settlements along Manila Bay and across central and southern Luzon. Together, these factors made Manila a significant cultural and economic center long before the arrival of the Conquistadors. In fact, upon their arrival, the Spaniards marveled at Manila's splendor and the organized complexity of its society, and they were eager to tap into the lucrative trade that Manila controlled. But as Manila thrives, a storm is brewing in the Visayas. For many years, the Spaniards have been quietly preparing to conquer this prosperous city, and with years of preparation behind them, they are now ready to strike. So what happens when these worlds collide? How will Manila respond to this looming danger? In May of 1570, Spanish forces led by Martin de Goiti reached the shores of Manila, a pre-colonial walled city renowned for its wealth and power in Southeast Asia. The arrival of the Conquistadors marked the beginning of escalating tensions as Manila's leaders quickly recognized the potential threat, despite the Spaniards' initial marvel at the city and the promises of peace. Now by this time, Luzon was governed by its revered paramount kings, Raja Matanda, the king of Luzon, his brother Lakandula, the king of Tondo, and their nephew Raja Sulaiman, the Raja Muda or crown prince and ruler of Manila. With a history of engaging with foreign traders, including the Japanese, Chinese, Arabs, Indians, the Portuguese, and various Southeast Asians from the Malays, the Javanese, the Thai, and many others, it was not surprising that the kings of Luzon were initially open to befriending the Spaniards. In fact, unknown to many, Raja Matanda, who had encountered the Spaniards as early as 1521, actually provided the Magellan-Elcano expedition with a crucial assistance. He offered them a Spanish-speaking navigator from Makassar, his former slave named Pasekulan, who expertly guided the Europeans through Southeast Asia, showcasing Raja Matanda's extensive experiences in international diplomacy. Now unknown to many, the Spaniards presented themselves as peaceful settlers. They claimed that they were only seeking merely to partake in the thriving trade of Manila Bay. And despite these promises of peace, the rulers of Manila remained wary. Manila Bay had long established itself as a center for international traders, and their rulers were no strangers to foreign diplomacy and the delicate balance of power it required. Nevertheless, the leaders of Tondo and Manila quickly organized their defenses, bolstering the city with more artillery and additional strategic barriers. The fortifications of Manila were not merely physical defenses, but symbols of the indomitable spirit of its people, representing their readiness to defend their motherland against any threat. And again, despite the Spaniards' assurances that they were only there merely as traders, the kings of Luzon remained vigilant. In fact, they were aware of the Spanish track record of cruelty in their Visayan colonies. And so, the initial friendly negotiations actually masked the true ambitions of the Spaniards, leading to a tense atmosphere filled with mistrust. And so, when it became clear that the Spanish intentions were not as genuinely cordial as they claimed, tensions quickly escalated into a bloody conflict. Now let me just clarify that, contrary to popular belief, and despite his earlier friendly encounters with the Spaniards, Raja Matanda did not simply and quickly surrender Manila to the Conquistadors. Raja Matanda, along with his fellow kings, stood firm, ready to defend Manila Bay, embodying the courage and the resolve of the Luzones people. In fact, unknown to many, Raja Sulaiman, in particular, gave the Spaniards a stern warning. Any harm done to his people would lead to bloodshed. This firm stance marked the beginning of a determined resistance that would define Manila's spirited defense against Spanish conquest, illustrating the bravery of our ancestors who were determined to protect our motherland at any cost. Now with the Spaniards at their doorsteps, will Manila's rulers bend their knees or brace for impact? Let's find out. The fragile peace in Manila Bay was shattered on May 24, 1570, when a fierce battle erupted between Manila and the Spanish forces led by Martin de Goiti. This day marked a pivotal moment in the history of Manila, a clash not just of weapons, but of willpower, as the city's defenders fought bravely to protect their homeland from foreign domination. Indeed, Raja Sulaiman alongside Lakandula of Tondo and the many warriors of Manila mounted a fierce resistance. Now, despite the formidable firepower of the Spanish forces, the Rajas of Manila and the Luzones warriors were equally prepared, their spirits bolstered by a steadfast determination to defend their city at all cost. And as the battle raged, sadly, the outcome led to the capture and the tragic burning of Manila. But unknown to many, within just 3 days after the battle and the burning of the city, the Spaniards actually left in a hurry. Indeed, they were afraid of staying because they realized that they had no capacity to hold and effectively control Manila at this time. Historical accounts and oral traditions differ on who was responsible for the fire. Martin de Goiti himself claimed responsibility for ordering the burning of Manila, suggesting that it was a strategic move to quash any further resistance by destroying the city's wealth and fortifications. However, many actually believe that it was Raja Sulaiman himself who ordered the city to be set on fire, a desperate yet defiant act to prevent the Spaniards from benefiting from Manila's resources. And this act of setting their own city on fire was actually a traditional indigenous war tactic across the archipelago, used effectively throughout history to ensure that the enemies could not use their resources and infrastructure against them. Nevertheless, the tragic burning of Maynila resulted in the extensive destruction and displacement of the local population. Many Kapampangans, for example, moved across the Pasig River, fundamentally altering the cityscape of Manila. The ashes of Manila symbolized the harsh impacts of colonization, but also underscored the enduring strength of its people to rebuild and resist future conquest. Following the devastating loss, Raja Sulaiman retreated to Tondo, laying the groundwork for ongoing resistance against the Spaniards. But let's be clear, this strategic retreat was not a sign of defeat, but a calculated move to regroup and continue the struggle for sovereignty. Indeed, this resilience inspired continued resistance, leading to many significant uprisings, including the Battle of Bangkusay on June 3, 1571, the Lakandula and Sulaiman Revolt of 1574, and the Revolt of the Lacans from 1587 to 1588, which, for those who may not know, was a Pan-Asian conspiracy led by the royals of Tondo and Manila, involving the Japanese and the Sultanate of Brunei, a conspiracy to liberate the Philippines from Spanish rule. Now, these are just some examples, because this resilience left behind an enduring legacy of resistance that persisted well beyond 1588. But just think about it. Why would the Spaniards burn Manila when they were so obsessed with taking over its wealth and weapons? Why destroy a city that they had long prepared to capture? And why marvel at its majesty and formidable defenses only to set it ablaze, only to reduce it to ashes? Let's be honest, history is not black and white. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Now back to the burning of Manila in 1570. After the initial retreat in May 1570, the Spaniards did not return to Manila until a year later in 1571. But this time with a bolstered force consisting of 280 Spaniards, including indigenous Tlaxcalans from Mexico and at least 600 Visayan allies from Panay. And if we think about it, this significant increase in warriors highlights the strategic importance placed on gaining control of Manila. So a year later, in 1571, after regrouping from the earlier setback, the Spaniards returned to Manila with more troops and a clear plan. And they began by constructing Intramuros, the colonial walled city that we know today, right on top of the ruins of what was once the citadel of Manila. In fact, they even used the remnants of Maynila's old fortifications and repurposed the cannons that once protected this vibrant pre-colonial city. And this was not just about building new walls, it was about marking their territory and setting up a new order right above the ruins of the old. Now with the Spaniards came new laws, new ways of life, and Christianity, all shaking up Manila like never before. The city found itself at the center of a new world network, changing everything from the ground up. And these changes were not gentle or asked for. They often came with a heavy hand, pushing aside centuries of local traditions to make room for new rules. But the story of Spanish Manila is not just about what was lost. It is also about how the city's people bent but didn't break. You know, despite all the changes, the soul of Maynila lived on. Indeed, the people adapted, mixing old traditions with new realities, finding ways to hold on to their identity despite the pressure to conform. And if you think about it, this back and forth between old and new, between resistance and resilience, is what truly makes Manila's past so rich and intricate. It's a reminder that history is not just about big events and big names. It's about the everyday struggles and successes of real people. Today, the legacy of pre-colonial Maynila is still all around us, woven into the very fabric of the city and the modern-day metropolis. It tells a tale of survival and resilience, a tale of community that stood its ground and kept its spirit alive through times of challenges and massive change. So while we remember the conquest that reshaped Manila, let us also remember the spirit of its people. Their resilience is a powerful part of our heritage, reminding us of our own capacity to face challenges and emerge more resilient. And as we stand on the foundations laid by our ancestors, let's reflect on the many lessons we can draw from their experiences and wisdom. How can their stories resonate with us today? On May 24, 1570, the city of Maynila was set ablaze and reduced to ashes. This tragic event, regardless of who lit the flame, marked a significant turning point, symbolizing both profound loss and the birth of new forms of resistance. A year later, Manila rose from its ashes under new rule, encapsulated within the iconic walls of Intramuros. And if you think about it, these pivotal moments are more than just mere dates in history books. They have reshaped the destiny of an ancient metropolis. Now, reflecting on this history invites us to appreciate the resilience and the spirit of Manila through the eyes of our ancestors. It challenges us to recognize Manila's enduring legacy as a vibrant metropolis. Indeed, Manila's dynamic spirit echoing through time, weaving together the past and the present in a tapestry rich with cultural depth and enduring human connections. As we commemorate Manila Day, we celebrate not just the city's colonial foundations, but also Manila's enduring spirit. Our exploration of Manila's past is not just a remembrance of what was lost to colonization, but a reminder of our collective ability to adapt and flourish, drawing strength from the wisdom and the valor of those who came before us. Especially for those, for many Filipinos who may feel disconnected from our pre-colonial roots, this journey through time reaffirms that our people's history is profound and our ancestors were resilient. So let us embrace this spirit of resilience. As we navigate present-day challenges, we are reminded that our people's history is not merely a tale of conquest, but a testament to our people's ability to emerge stronger. Because to be honest, it is this strength and unity, this solidarity that will continue to guide us through our collective struggle for a brighter future for our people. A future that truly reflects our collective aspiration for a prosperous society where there is genuine peace and justice in our communities. If you found this video insightful and learned a thing or two, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos about our people's history, culture, and everything in between. And if you want to support my research and help my channel grow, please consider being my patron on Patreon or a member of my YouTube channel. And don't forget to check out my books, coloring books, ebooks, and merch on the fascinating history and cultures of the Philippines, Southeast Asia, and beyond. So make sure to check out the links below and order your copies today. And as always, for those who are interested in diving deeper into today's topic, to learn more about Manila's rich history, I've included a list of resources and recommended readings in the comments below. So make sure to check it out after this video. And that is it for me today, so let me know what you think about today's topic in the comments below. Maraming salamat po, Orin Kamampangan, dakal pong salamat kay Hongan, and in bahasa sug, magsukol tuod kay mo. See you next time, Orin Tagalog kita kits, and in Kamampangan, Mikitix, and in bahasa Malayo, Jum palagi,